What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Drewby. We're back again with another exciting edition of the Apex Spotlight. You know what it is. It's the interview show where I go into the Apex community. I find my favorite men and women to come on and tell their story, right? The journey to becoming the most elite version of themselves, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. Now, today's guest is someone I am super honored and excited to have on. He's a repeat offender on this show. But he's also one of my favorite human beings. He is extremely focused. He's one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. He runs around and screams at people like an angry gorilla a lot of times, but that is his way of getting people fired up. He's a best-selling author of #2Strong, How to Win Fast and Win Often in Overcoming Life's Obstacles. I think I probably messed that up, but that's okay. He doesn't mind. It's close enough. Go find it on Amazon. He's a podcast host of the Big Stud Podcast. He's got really excellent hair today if you're watching this on Zoom. But he is also a friend, a mentor, and a fellow Apex goon. He's my man, Mr. Mike Claudio. What's up?
What is up, Mr. Drewby Wilson?
You know, we're just hanging out, having another great day, doing a lot of big shit, prepping for a huge year. And I'm excited to have you back on to talk about that, man, because you've been on before, and we've gone through a lot of things in the past couple of years together. And for anybody who hasn't heard any of our previous episodes, I would love to kind of catch them up, right? Because you are in a season of your life where you are absolutely winning fast, winning often, and there's zero doubt that you're going to continue on that journey because you are 100% committed to the mission. But let's take a step back for a second and go back 2.5, maybe 3 years ago when we first connected. And let's talk about where you were then and kind of fast track them to where you are now.
All right. So we met and communicated originally fall 2019, so like 2.5, 3 years ago. At that point, I was full-time WinRate Consulting. I was a self-employed person. I was by myself. I had no employees at that point. It was just me trying to scale this coaching and consulting business. I had just left my job as vice president of a roofing company, which had gone well, but for a number of reasons, I really decided I'm going to go all in on me in 2019. And I had set a target in 2019 because I wasn't sure it was going to work. I didn't know if I could support my family doing this. If my clients today knew what I was charging back then for coaching, they would not be satisfied. But I'm a better coach now too, overall. But so at that point, 2019, it was a test year for me. I said, I'm going to give this 12 months. I need to hit X amount of revenue in that 12-month period to say, this is legit. I can do this. This is going to go from a test, a beta test to a career, and ultimately into a company. And so at the end of that year, I hit my target for revenue for that year. It was like my goal is $100,000. If I can do $100,000 in coaching services in year one, I'm calling that a win. And I'm saying we can do this full time. We're going all in on it. And I remember I woke up one day, it was like late October, early November. And I remember starting to plan for 2020. I was starting to make projections, and I was like, oh fuck, yeah, not proof concept anymore. We're doing this. It's real. We're moving forward. This is awesome. And that's when I reached out to Apex. I think I reached out to Ryan, and I got to you, and I realized that I've always been big on feedback. Even when I was in corporate America, I would split level people, and I'd go up to the highest person. Hey, give me feedback. I was really big on feedback. And so I was like, who's doing this well in the way that I thought I want to do it and spoke my language? And, Ryan Stewman was kind of that guy. And so I was like, if I'm going to go all in on this, I want to coach, because I was an athlete, and I always knew having help. And honestly, I almost thought it was hypocritical of me to say other people should pay for help, but I don't need to pay for help. So I decided I'm going to go make an investment in myself. I had no idea what it was going to cost, but I was like, I'm going to reach out. And so I got connected with you, signed up for Entrepreneurs, which is the middle Apex level. And because I was really looking to get around better people. So kind of backtrack a little bit from that. In 2016, I told my wife that hey, I really am getting a feeling that I need to find better people to get around. I need to find people that I relate to better, because the people I'm around right now are not bad, but they're not supporting me. And so between 2016 and 2019, when I joined Apex, I tried different networking groups locally. I got into some online stuff. I was just like kind of searching for that right group of people. I found some wrong group of people. You know, like, it's amazing. You give some frat boys some money and they turn into adult frat boys, and it turns into just everything you think of. I got into some real uncomfortable situations. I was like, that's not what I fucking signed up for. And so went through some progression there, trying to find this like next level people. And so when I reached out to you guys, when I say, you know, I reached out to Apex, I really wanted some in-person experience. I wanted to get around other people that I was hoping to learn from and mature from. So I joined Entrepreneurs because it had the quarterly meetups, which was really important to me. And at that point, like, you know, I think it was $1,000 a month is probably what I signed up for originally. And like, I mean, hope it works. You know, like
if you made 100,000 and you're going to spend $1,000 a month of it to learn more.
Yeah, well,
that's a hefty investment in yourself.
It's a, you know, and like, you know, that 100,000 was like gross revenue. Like that wasn't profit, right? Like that was gross revenue. And like, you know, I still had to pay our bills. Like $1,000 a month was like, you know, half my mortgage. Like it was a big investment at the time, right? And so, but I was like, Tiff, I got to do this. I got to get in this room. I feel like I should be there. And I came into it with a twofold approach. Like I knew I was good at what I did. Even then, I knew I was good at what I did. Like, I mean, I couldn't have pictured how good I am now, but even then I knew I was good at what I did. And I was really good at sales, and I was really good at communicating that part of the process. But I joined Apex. I remember the first meetup, because that was the first meetup for entrepreneurs ever. Like I'm OG Apex entrepreneurs. I was class one. I mean, I was class one. I was one of the first like 10 people that signed up for the entrepreneurs program. And so it was the first meetup. It's the first one Ryan ever does. And we're going around introducing ourselves. He's like, well, why are you here? And I remember looking at him. I was like, dude, you're not better than me. You're just 13 years ahead of me. And I want to learn everything that you lost, that you failed in the process. Like, and that was like, that's exactly what I said. Meeting one. And like, I'm literally like sweating. Find that
footage too.
I'm like sweating that I'm so nervous because like, I remember like getting on the plane to fly there. Like everybody goes through this at some point when you go to an Apex meetup. You get on the plane to fly there. You're sitting there like, do I belong here? Like, who are these fucking entrepreneurs? Who the fuck do I think I am? You know, but you know, pretty quickly, I think even by the second meetup, I realized that like, you know, I was a leader. I was at the front of the room. People were looking up to me. I'm really good at helping people. Like my number 2 core value is operate a help first mentality. And like, I obsess about helping people first. Like, even if someone wants to help me, I like physically have to help them with something first before I can accept their help. And so I just got in that room and started helping people, answering questions, giving feedback, free phone calls, you know, just even the little conversations in the room, because there's a lot of people and execs right now that were in that room, like Chris Clear, Patrick Bolaños,
Josiah Atkins, Matt Smith,
Brian McKintrick, James Golden. Like that was all OG entrepreneurs group, right? Which is crazy to see. Like, you know, from a business perspective though, like let's throw this back on Apex. The program fucking worked. Like, let's get these people in place so we can make them better so they advance in the program and pay us more money. You fucking executed on it excellently. Congratulations. Right. And it's no wonder Apex execs is like, you know, literally 10x in 18 months.
Yep.
It's because you guys executed very effectively on that idea in 2019. Like 100%, I believe one of the best things you guys did was implement that in-person middle offer. Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, it executed perfectly. You got a lot more of my money because of it. You know, but so that progressed, right? Learned some stuff, got to the front of that room, you know, so like in 2019, I did like $120,000 in revenue. Right. And that was the first year I was full-time WinRate. The year before that, I kind of dabbled with it. Like I kind of like started the business in 2018 and got the website, got a couple of clients. I think I did like 18,000 in revenue, like $18,000 total revenue in 2018. I think like 120 grand in 2019. And then 2020, like I started like hiring people. I like Lindsay got on board, and then I tried hiring some other people. You know, some of it went well, some of it didn't, like everybody else, you know, but I learned a lot in that process. You know, so WinRate grew pretty substantially, you know, quote unquote. I did like a little over 300 grand in revenue in 2020. And then I really figured it the fuck out. And what I figured out in that process of 2020 was I'm actually way better than I thought I was. Like the authenticity, the transparency, the care, the approach, the work ethic, the knowledge, the ability to communicate that knowledge. And you blend that with like, I started the podcast and the YouTube channel, late 2019. So you hit that like 1 year mark of that stuff, which is like really showing like you did something, and you compound effect all of that, 2021, I want to say is a breakout year, but like, I don't know how you measure breakout years. Cause like I did $1 million in revenue. I did $1,069,000 in revenue in 2021 by like the hair on my chinny chin, just barely over it.
I love it.
But, and then here I am now in 2022, like I'm projecting 3 million. That's like 5 years in a row, 4 or 5 years in a row, more than tripling my business.
Savage.
It's savage. But what I learned
comes back to your work ethic, though. Like you said,
yeah, but here's what it really goes back to. The beginning of 2021, that I did a team retreat. It was just 4 of us. Did a team retreat to the beach. You remember that? I rented that house and everything else, and we got very clear on our core values, our mission, and our vision. Like I had an idea and I had core values, but they really weren't me. I'm telling you right now, the success we've seen and the progress you've seen is 100% related to getting very clear on our core values. And I know like you've heard everybody say it, everybody fucking, it's so annoying. The core values. I'm like, what the fuck is that? No, it's fucking real and it fucking works. And so what happened is we got very clear on our core values. So every decision I made got related to that. Who I fired, who I hired, what clients I took on, what events I went to, who I didn't work with, what my pricing model was, how I communicated with my employees, the vision, how I onboarded, and like how I selected the coaches I added to the team, like bringing Tiff on board, like being able to manage your wife based on, so this is like, side tangent, utilizing core values as a management and leadership tool allows you to take the emotion out of leadership. Because it's no longer my opinion and feelings against yours. It's your representation of the standard we agreed to. So I'm comparing you to this, not my feelings, not my emotions. So I actually even onboarding Tiff into the business, because Tiffany quit her corporate job last year to join the mission. I was able to relate it, her activity and mistakes, to the core values. Not you're letting me down. Hey, you're not living up to the core values, which made it so much easier in managing my wife. Like managing my wife became so much easier. But then even like onboarding the coaches and training them and holding people accountable and being very clear on what is it that we are going to stand for. So I think that's a huge part of the story, because so many people like half-ass that or don't utilize it. My opinion is if you are not talking about your core values to the point where your employees are tired of hearing it, you're not talking about it enough.
Yep.
So then end of 2020, going to 2021, my wife and I started a Champion Shoes nonprofit where we provide name brand shoes to underprivileged children throughout the country. And you want to talk about something that like exceeded expectations here. So in 2021, we had a couple employees for about 90 days. They all got fired for a different reason. Core values was a big part of it. Some of it was just like right people, wrong seat. Some of it was right seat, wrong people, right? We kind of dealt with both sides of that, but, we ended up, by end of third quarter, we had no more employees, but, we raised over $200,000 last year for that mission, kind of like part-timing it, barely, if you don't even want to call it part-timing it was like the afterthought. So we end up shipping out, I think like, almost 2,000 pairs of shoes last year. It's a lot of shoes. That mission's super, like we're super passionate about that. Like my life, like I literally manufactured my life to be built around building champions one touch at a time. Like one conversation at a time, one pair of shoes at a time. And I literally get to spend every day helping pour confidence into people so they can accomplish more than they believe they could. And like Tiff and I manufactured the fuck out of that. Because what a lot of people don't know is like Tiff had like almost $180,000 in student loan debt. And like we paid, it was like $3,000 a month was our fucking student loan payment. And in 2019, we decided to sell our house at the time to pay it off. And we sold it. We sold everything. We drove paid off cars for 2 years. We live in a townhouse for a while. And like, we did all of that so that she could quit her job and we didn't have financial stress. So our ability to be strategic, our ability to take risk, our ability to do this was based on a decision in the spring 2019 to sell our house and go all in on manufacturing the lifestyle we want. Like people don't do that shit. Like people don't do that shit. I could have bought any car I wanted in 2020. I mean, 300 grand in a year is a ton of money for a guy used to making 120 to 150 grand a year. You know, Tip was making like 150 grand. I brought in 300 grand in total revenue. Like I had pretty much no overhead in 2020. So like I could have bought any car I wanted in 2020. You know what I didn't do? Spend any fucking money. I don't even think we took a vacation in 2020. Like we brought in $450,000 as a family and went all in on the mission. So that in 2021, when we got the bug in our gut to say, I think it's time for you to quit your job, zero doubt. No brainer.
I want to talk about that because, and we could go on these tangents all day long because, you know, we're friends and we got a lot of things that we've both been able to experience together and really be a part of. Yeah. That's like one of the fun things about, you know, calling you a friend and a fellow goon, Mike, is like, we've both been a part of the same driven mission in our own ways. Yep. And I think that's what's cool about the Goon Squad is every guy in there is on that same vision, right? That same mission. In our own way, we've made that same commitment to go all in with the mission that we're trying to do. And it all comes back to serving people and helping build champions and teaching people to crush their day and really just showing men and families, because it's not just men, but like families, how you can manufacture the lifestyle that you want, right? Yep. Anything that you can see and picture and desire is 100% achievable if you're willing to make specific commitments. So I want to talk a little bit about like how like the vision works, right? You got to manufacture it, but like your commitment and discipline is unmatched in the majority of people. So how did you start to develop that, right? And I know part of it's in the book. Make sure you guys go get his book, #2strong. It's on Amazon. But like, let's talk about how you develop that discipline, because anybody can develop discipline. It's not like something that you have or don't have, it develops, right? So let's talk about how you do that.
So it originally started when I left corporate. So like the big answer is corporate America taught me it. Okay. Be at the meeting on time, X amount of prospecting. Because I was in sales and sales leadership forever for Verizon Wireless. And so like a big picture, it wasn't like intentional training, but like that's where I learned the power of it. Okay. But when I fully started harnessing it was when I left corporate America and went to work for a small remodeling company where there's no structure, no requirements, no SOPs, nothing. I became like that nomad that was just like wandering in every direction because there was no structure. So I really started harnessing discipline like when I was working at that construction company, because something as simple as like, we didn't have a marketing budget, right? We didn't have a social presence. So like my only way to win was outbound calls, which we just talked about. And so I prospected every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 11 at the same Starbucks at the same time, drank the same shit, sat at the same table, because like I am proof, and I believe this wholeheartedly, that as a habitual being, which humans are, things that are uncomfortable you become comfortable if you do them the same way over and over again. Just like a bench press or a sprint or a mile run, you do it enough times, it doesn't hurt as bad. And so, you know, prospecting is where it started. I was having a hard time structuring prospecting. So I said, non-negotiable every fucking week, 9 to 11 at the Starbucks, I'm prospecting for new business. You know, I took that company from 300,000 gross to 2.5 million my second year, all guerrilla marketing, like no marketing, no social media, no budgets, no ads, pure, I'm going to go find people. I'm going to build a relationship with them. I'm going to sell them some shit. And so like, that's like the basis of all my training still to this day, because I don't think enough people do have a quality approach for relationship sales. And so, and mostly because marketers are really good at marketing to you about how important marketing is. Like, that's the reality. That's the truth.
Make sure we clip that out. That's going to be a good one. I can't wait
to
use that later.
But that's true, right?
It is 100% true.
So, but that's where it started. I was struggling being consistent because I was being pulled by this client, pulled by this need, pulled by this job site. I was very reactive. And I said, if I don't get structured, I'm not going to do the prospecting I need to do. So I won't get the results I want. So that's where it started. It all started with time blocking two-hour prospecting sessions a week. And I was like, oh shit, that worked. What else can I get consistent with, right? And then it became the gym at the same time every day. I used to go to the gym every day at 5 o'clock. Like no matter where I was, I structured my day around being at the gym at 5 o'clock. And then like just over time, I started realizing it's not just a business strategy, it's a life strategy, right? So I time block dates with my wife, time with my kids, time to go to the gym, time to read, time to listen to podcasts. Like at this point, if it's not part of my calendar and it's not structured in a time block, it ain't real and it ain't fucking happening, because I have an entire strategy around prioritizing back to like, how did we pull off the discipline? It is, I make a list every quarter of what are my top priorities for this quarter, and I time block everything around that. And for 18 to 24 months, the top priority was, we can't have anything else in our life until Tiff is able to leave her corporate job. Like every other part of our dreams, from traveling to the way we want to raise our kids to how we want to spend our time together and how we want to work out together, like none of it was possible as long as she has to like ask off work. And so every decision was made around how do we make that happen? And so it was all easy. Like the vision was bigger than the excuse. The vision was bigger than the pain point. For me, I've said this a lot, and I say it almost every morning. And I'll say it like physically out loud most days. And I'll say, Mike, your goals are bigger than your excuses. Get the fuck out of bed. And that gets me out of bed at 3:45, 6 days a week.
3:45.
And I'm in the parking lot of the gym at 4:30, by 4:30, sometimes earlier, but by 4:30, 6 days a week. And I read from 4:30 to 5, 6 days a week. And I work out from 5 to 6, 6 days a week. And I get in the sauna from 6 to 6:30, 6 days a week. And I meditate from 6:30 to 6:45, 6 days a week. And then Monday through Friday, I drive home, pick my kids up at 7 and take them to school. Fucking 5 days a week. Because those are the things that are a priority to me. And like people tell me all the time, Mike, I got big dreams. Show me your fucking calendar.
Prove it.
Show me your fucking calendar. Show me how you're prioritizing the activity for these big dreams you want.
Yep.
Like I'm gonna be a $10 million company. Where are you at right now? 800,000. Show me your fucking calendar. Because I guarantee you're not headed in that direction. Oh man, like I don't need a calendar. You're full of shit.
Okay. Prove it.
But like you're just not as serious, right? And so you want to talk about the discipline. The discipline comes from the desire. Like there's two parts. Part of it is the desire of the outcome. Part of it.
Yep.
For me, part of it is I am deathly afraid of regret. And so for me, I live the routine that I have to live so I can wake up tomorrow and not regret my activity today. Because I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you flaunt. I don't care what your fucking social media looks like. I don't care what you pretend. If you're not living up to the expectations you set for yourself, you are a miserable fuck.
That's real shit.
And so I'm not going to live that way. I dealt with my anxiety. I dealt with my depression, and it all came from me not living up to my expectations of myself. So I'm disciplined today so I don't have to deal with regret tomorrow. That's the real answer. Like that's the simple version. Because everybody talks about these big dreams, these big visions, this big shit, right? I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna prove you to this point. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is capable of accurately visualizing and dreaming their life. Nobody. I'm gonna prove it to you. Everybody listening to this, close your eyes and picture who you were, what you had, who you were around, and what you did January 2020. The things you were doing, the activities you were doing, the habits you had, the financial success, the people. January 2020, 2 years ago. You physically could not have pictured who you are and what you have right now. And that's just 2 years ago. So think about how much you knew and what you thought you knew in January 2020, right? And so if today is day one of the next 2 years, you're incapable of visualizing what's possible. It's impossible. You're capable of 10 times more than you can imagine, but it scares the fuck out of you. And so you choose to not believe it. So I minimize the approach by saying, what do I have to do today to win the day? And I do that 365 days a year. And I'm going to keep fucking winning because all I'm worried about is winning fast and winning often, not big, little. I want to win the next little decision. I want to drink my water today. I want to not eat like shit. I want to make sure I don't exceed 3 drinks in a sitting. I want to make sure I get my morning routine in. I want to make sure that I'm prepared for my client base. I want to make sure I get my posts in. I want to make sure I do my unintentional or my intentional unexpected touch. I'm going to do everything I'm supposed to fucking do today so that I don't have to wake up with regret tomorrow. And if I do that 365 days a year, I will accomplish 10 times more than I can even fucking imagine in just 24 months. I can't dream bigger than that, man. I can't dream past today because today's too important.
That's some powerful shit, sir. And you know what I really love about that is there are so many people out there that are trying to sell you on like, oh, these 5 and 10 year goals and this and that and whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's great, right? Have those goals. But they stretch it so far out that they make excuses not to do the work today because, oh, well, I still got 5 years. I still got 10 years, right?
Well, and here's something that I think a lot of people do underestimate. It's hard to dream metrics, which is ironic because I think metrics are fucking everything. It's hard to dream metrics. I get very intentional about like, who do I want to be and what do I want to be known for? That I can visualize. That I can take action on today because I can't be known for that and I can't be that person I want to be if I don't win today. Right? So I can visualize that. I can visualize like, who do I want to see in the mirror and what do I want to be known for out there? I will be the most disciplined, authentic, transparent fucking person that anybody ever meets. I will make an impact with every conversation I have, whether it's this interview podcast or a coaching client or someone I run into at the fucking mall. I'm going to impact every fucking person that I come in contact with because I can control that, because I'm capable of that. And it's irresponsible of me to not take that seriously.
Let them know. That's why I love you, because you're savage. But you know why? Because you've been to that dark side, right? You've hit that rock bottom. You've had that moment and you've made that climb. I think that's the thing is you've reached this point where you've proven to yourself by consistently winning over and over and over by starting small. Hey, let me time block 2 hours twice a week to call and try to find my people to fill the pipeline, right? It starts with, I want to make more money because I don't want to be the same fucking guy tomorrow. And then it goes to, okay, cool. Let me do this. Let me make sure I'm at the gym. Let me make sure I'm consistent with my family and my relationships. It's about manufacturing the life, circling back to that, right? Hey, this is how I want to be. This is who I want to be. This is what I want to create an impact by doing, and deciding what are the things that it's going to take to get there. And how do I make sure that those things are on my calendar often enough to get the result that I'm searching for? And just being willing to say, you know, fuck your excuses. I'm going to do what I need to do, like it or not, whether I feel like it or not. You and I have both been in the gym together where neither one of us wanted to fucking be there at 5 a.m. But you know what? We were there, we got it done, and then we went on through our day and went about it. Because of those little decisions not to quit, right? Not to say, I'll get to it later, and setting that example for yourself, right? Setting that standard, which then that standard becomes the standard for the people around you, in your family, in your business, in your clientele. It makes a huge difference on how you live in that life that you manufacture through the actions that you take every single day. And that's one of the things that I really respect about you, is that I know at any given time, you're living that core value. You are unequivocally, will not, with any exception, deviate from that mission and those core values. And it really does come back to, hey, making that decision as a man, as a family, as a community, right? As a business, because this is the crazy thing about business and success and all that jazz, right? What are you doing every single day and how are you making those decisions? Because there has to be consistency.
Well, and like I'm undisciplined like most people, you know, like I struggle with discipline. I struggle with, you know, making bad decisions too. The difference is I put a lot of checks and balances in my life to make sure that I catch myself. And so like very similar to you, like we were both fat, right?
Yep.
And so, I'm not going to call you up. You're like, hey, I gained a little weight recently. I'm not loving that. Right. But what happens is, and this is something I've taken very seriously and I've helped a lot of people with, we've raised our floor. Like we've raised how deep we're willing to go into the failure, right? Where we've raised how bad we're allowing it to get, right? So like you caught yourself at gaining 10 to 15 pounds instead of 30 like you used to, right? So like we all fail. I fail too. Like I miss stuff, but I have my Asana where I have my checks and balances on the daily tasks. I have my team. I have my calendar with my time blocks. I have my morning routine. Like, and I also have like certain things and thresholds to make sure like I don't slip further than I will allow myself to slip, because I'm still going to fail. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to raise my floor. Like I'm trying to raise how bad I'm willing to let it get before I have to like trigger myself into action. Cause like you've heard me talk about this. I'm huge about triggers and transitions in your life. Like what triggers you and what transitions happen in your life, like between cars, like physical transitions. And so a trigger for me is certain metrics. Like I will never weigh more than 250 again. If I ever weigh in more than 250, I'm going full keto, 2 workouts a day until that number is corrected. So I'm catching it, right? I'm catching it faster. I'm catching it sooner. I'm not letting it get so bad. Like I have a 3-drink maximum at this point, and I'm not allowing myself to drink 2 days in a row unless I'm on a planned vacation. So I'm not going to go to Apex for Flying Friday and drink Wednesday night when I get there, and Thursday night after Goon Squad, and then Friday night because I'm staying for Saturdays for John Hiley's thing. Like I'm not going to drink those 3 nights in a row like I normally would have.
Yeah.
So I'm setting rules and I'm setting standards so that I can catch myself when I'm weak, when I fail, which I feel like, man, you just do so much. No, you just don't see me failing because I don't fail for weeks. I fail for a day.
Yeah.
And I catch it very quickly.
I think, and what I love about that is it comes back to the simplicity of what gets measured gets improved. Yeah, right? Fair. Checks and balances. Hey, what actions did I take today? It started with, I made 100 outbound phone calls, right? Hey, it started with, I went and I walked 3 miles today. Hey, it started with, I sent a message to someone and told them I appreciated them.
Yep.
Every single day. Did I do this thing? Because then you can catch yourself, right? Is it comfortable to jump on a scale and be like, damn, 3 weeks ago, I was 200 pounds. And then Thanksgiving and Christmas and vacation and stress eating on, big end of the year rush, and then excuse. Like, no. But when you have a checks and a balance in place to say, hey, the numbers are down, right? If you're a business owner, hey, the numbers are down. Where? Why? These are little things that, and I know this is what you do at WinRate, is helping people see these metrics, right? Exactly like you said, hey, you want to be a $10 million business? Cool. Show me your calendar, because that's the first place that I can easily measure the success. Show me your bank accounts. Show me the numbers that show me where you're actually going to make this a reality, because you and I both know that's how you reverse engineer success. What are the metrics? What are the steps you got to take to get there? And that success in any part of your business, your life, anything. It comes back to the measurement and having those checks and balances in place and building the systems and processes to grow and scale those things. And that's one of the things that I've really enjoyed being friends with you and being on this journey together, is that you and I are able to have those checks and balances in each other, and having a circle of people that are willing to call you out and say, hey, man, you told us 6 months ago that book was coming. What happened? What happened to that thing that you told us it was going to get done? Like, we're not saying that you're not going to do it, but we want to check in on it.
Yep.
So, man, I know you're busy. I don't want to keep you all day. We both got a ton of stuff to get dialed in on, because we got some cool shit in the works between the Goon Squad live event and all the amazing things that you guys are doing over at WinRate and with the champion shoes. So again, man, I really, really appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here, being vulnerable, talking about the journey, right? That's the stuff people really need to hear, because at the end of the day, money's easy. We can all go out and make more money. That's a rewire of a mindset. It's valuing your time. It's understanding that discipline, and it's getting very, very focused on the mission and the core values, which you've been an exemplary example to watch and just see and really get to know you, man. So where can people find you if they have questions, they want to know more about WinRate? I know you've got a really great webinar training people can check out. What's the best way for them to find you?
I mean, the easy way to find all my stuff, we go to MikeClaudio.com. That's got basically links to all my stuff. It's at WinRate Consulting on Instagram. It's Mike Claudio on YouTube, the Facebook group. Like I got all the shit. So, MikeClaudio.com. But if you want to get with me, you want to just shoot me a DM on Instagram. That's the application I spend the most time engaging on. So Instagram at WinRate Consulting is the best way to get me directly. But my website, if you want to learn more, just see what it looks like to work with me, or what my shit looks like, or where my other platforms are, MikeClaudio.com is the best place to go.
I love that, man. And again, I'm a personal supporter of the Champion Shoes movement. I absolutely love what you guys have going on for that. So if you guys are listening and you want to support young champions and helping them step into that confidence of really becoming the best version of themselves as they grow, make sure you check out the Champion Shoes organization, man. Him and his team are doing amazing things. And as always, me and Mike, we got connected in the Apex movement, man. We got found together, but like-minded, success-driven entrepreneurs, business owners, powerful people that operate, I should say, with a giver's gain mentality, right? Mike said it himself. He came in and he focused on giving value, helping each other level up to this next version of ourselves. And again, 2 years ago, he never would have believed he would be where he is right now. Just me the same way. So if you want to get around other folks that are on that same journey, right, wanting to level up and become the best version of themselves, head over to jointheapex.com and submit an application to see if what we do is a good fit to help you as well. And maybe find yourself working with Mr. Mike Claudio, and he can show you everything he did to really fucking dial in. But you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. He just gave you guys the game. You could just take the advice right here and turn yourself into a multi-millionaire with these simple things. But again, head over to jointheapex.com, submit that application. And again, Mike, man, I love you, brother. Go crush the day.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.